Okay.
All right. I'm just going to say one thing for anyone joining on YouTube Live. We had some technical difficulties, so we're just starting the board meeting now. We've been through part of it, but we've also recorded it on Zoom, and that will be posted for anyone that wants to go back and listen to that.
Thank you. All right, so we just talked about revenue variances. We're going into expense variances that we talked about in Finance Committee. And so janitorial expense, we budgeted just about $400,000. When we're looking at July through January, we've spent just about $300,000. And what we're anticipating to spend from February to June is $172,000. So total $470,000, which will be about $80,000 over budget, is what we're looking at there. So just wanted to make you all aware of that. You know, we've had a changeover in janitorial service, and so also when I'm looking at next year's budget, we'll make sure to account for that. But it still should be less than the current year because it's less than what CNR had increased our rates to.
And quick question, I'm sorry. So we've already made the change to the new service?
Correct, yeah.
Okay, I thought I was kicking in next. Okay.
Yep, so February 1st is when that happened.
Okay, thank you.
Good question. Another variance, wages are under budget through December due to unfilled teaching and admin positions. We've had several of the admin positions filled now, but year to date through December, there were some unfilled positions there throughout those 6 months. And then employee insurance is also under budget through December. Same reasoning there. There are positions that were unfilled, and then also insurance is actually less than what we anticipated. So that's a good thing. Next slide for me. We also talked about the capital expenses that we've had throughout the year. We only budgeted $140,000 for capital projects that we were anticipating, and that was the oak fire panel and the armor renovation. We've had several things that have come up. Obviously, we talked about the bus purchases, so that's something we should all be aware of. We've purchased 5 buses this year. The Cherry Playground, there was a little bit of carryover. They were delayed in their billing on that, so we had budgeted that last year, and so it ended up in this year's expense due to their billing system. And then Cherry's had trench work done, also had a hand wash station done. So there's a few items there. And then Oak bathroom, the stall doors, we're expecting that to be about a $10,000 repair. I don't know if you've been in the Oak bathrooms, but they were in pretty bad shape. We're having labor donated on that, so that's a cost savings there, but it's still a $10,000 expense to get some of those bathrooms in better shape. And that was definitely, that's a safety concern, so that's why we're looking at doing that. Also, the fire inspection came back less than favorable, and so there was some exit signs and some lighting upgrades that had to be done for that fire inspection. And then along with those 5 buses that we purchased, there was GPSs and camera systems that were put on that, about $8,000 for those 5 buses. Also, we still think there'll probably be some bus repairs. So we've got $20,000 estimated in there. And then Armor had some key card access, $6,000. And the last item down there is the Missouri Safety Grant. It's reimbursable, so really it should be an in and an out to an extent, but I still listed it here because we'll still see it as a cash outflow. Hopefully we'll get that reimbursement though this year, so it would be like I said, an in and out, but $150,000 for the secured entrances. There's some safety film and camera upgrades as well. Next slide. Last item I wanted to talk about, and this is also what we talked about in the Finance Committee, and that is the attendance. So our February enrollment was 1,348 students, and that left-hand column is 92%, right-hand column is 94%, just a comparison here. So with 1,348 running at 92%, we multiply our 1348 times 92%, and we add in our pre-K students, and then our at summer schools, what that is, we get 106 students essentially for a WADA of 1356. And then we get paid on that 1356 by the dollar amount that DESE pays out, and that's 11,308 currently. It fluctuates a little bit month to month, but 11,308. And so our total basic formula, if everything holds steady at 92%, would be 15.3 million. We've budgeted 15.1 million, and so there's a little bit of a difference there. Let me just move this out of the way so we can see that bottom line. There we go. So the difference there would be a positive $215,000 to our bottom line compared to our budget. And the reason why it's different than what we budgeted was the amount per WADA. When we were doing the budget last year, we were thinking it was only going to be 11,000. So DESE's actually paying us more than what we had anticipated. So that's a positive there. But one thing I also want to point out is if we are at 94%, so just two percentage points more, that's a $300,000 swing in money. And so yes, that's dollars, but obviously we want to educate our students, so we want them to be in their seats. But also, that definitely helps the school when the students are in their seats learning. So just wanted to reiterate, I know it's been in the newsletter about attendance, but also quantifying that, 2 percentage points on our scale is about $300,000. So, did anyone have any questions over the financials or any of the other items we talked about here?
Attendance assessed monthly, or is that?
So, are you talking about like how we get paid, or?
Yeah, it's month by month.
So it's hour by hour essentially. Okay. Is what we get paid on, or minute by minute. But we turn in an estimate essentially to DESE, and then at the end of the year, if we've turned in too many, then we owe money essentially. So we try to be as accurate as possible on that, so we don't owe, or we don't get some huge payment in the next year, some carryover.
Stephen, can you try to present yourself, because you should be able to do it now.
Yes, I'll try.
You're like, I don't have to do that anymore.
See if I can present here.
Yeah.
Is that coming through on your end?
Yeah.
All right.
And the finance committee was talking about some loans that are coming up to be refinanced. I don't know if the board has seen like all of the loans that the school has, or if they're on some report that I haven't found, but I think it would be good for them to see that if we could maybe get that added to the next one.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. This is development committee.
All right. You want me to talk from here?
I can move over.
Take over.
You got to hold your name
Take a
tight.
little break. This is me, Stewart. So I do want to point out on the agenda for today, it had mentioned the 25th anniversary celebration as well. I don't think I talked about that in this board report. We had originally discussed having a large gathering celebration of sorts for the 25th anniversary celebration on March 8th. After some discussions on other events that are happening this year and other ways we can kind of celebrate our anniversary with things that are already in place, plus some fun things we want to do with the kids later this year, we've decided to scratch the anniversary celebration in that format and put more of a focus on celebrating during Evening in Paris, since that's where a lot of our community comes together anyway, and it's already on calendars, and people get pretty excited about that, and we really want to put a big focus on that event this year. So we're going to do, but we're going to tie in the 25th anniversary into that event, plus do some things throughout the month of May for our students. We've got some good ideas that we're cooking up, and I will hopefully have that to share next time. But just want to make sure everybody knew March 8th is no longer a date on the calendar for the celebration. Okay. Okay. Report 2023 end-of-year appeal. So that was the letters that hopefully everybody got with the new car decals. If you didn't get them, I have plenty, and that goes for anybody online as well. I would love to share those decals with anybody. It also included a social media and email and newsletter campaign, and at the end, so between, I believe, I should put the dates up there, November 22nd, I believe, through end of year, we raised $29,000 for that appeal. So thank you all so much for the generous, kind support at the end of the year. That was wonderful to see. And all of that money goes into the annual fund, as does most of these funds that we're talking about here, with the exception of the Ethnic Food Festival that's coming up next weekend, next Saturday. We are looking to raise $6,000 for that. It is the first food festival that we're hosting at the school. The high school seniors are actually going to be hosting this. They are super excited about it, and they are wanting to gift and essentially provide a legacy to the kids below them to be able to continue taking international trips. So they're going to be raising funds that night, talking about their experiences, doing tours of the Oak campus, and I highly encourage anybody who is available to come. It's family friendly, relatively casual, but it's, you know, they're really looking forward to being able to showcase what their education and what their time at the school has meant, and hopefully continue this for years to come.
I want to jump in here, and we've talked about having the board more engaged with families. So anybody that can go, my family and I will be there. So please sign up for that and get tickets. It supports things. But the other thing is, if we have all of the families who have applied so far this year before this,
yeah,
I think we should be inviting each of them. It gives them an opportunity to see what the school's about. I mean, obviously it goes toward the fundraising as well, but what a great way to get them integrated into the school. And I think we have those names from the application.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
And I know it's a short period of time. But
no, that's it. I mean, that's the name of the nature of the beast here. We wanted to be able to fit it in within.
But for them to hear, these kids talking and see the school and
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. Okay, Musketeer March coming up after that. I don't know how to move this panel.
I'll just kind of grab it on the side and move it up. There you go.
Okay, perfect, thank you. Musketeer March goal, $40,000, but as you saw with Stephen's numbers, that was a preliminary goal, as we've kind of adjusted it based off of numbers that we saw last year. So I think 40,000 was what was maybe written into the original budget we had discussed. 130 is actually our target, which is doable based off of numbers we received last year. That's an event that the students really love to do. We do go through an organization to help set that up, and those are the dates that will be at each of the campuses. And then Evening in Paris is coming up too. We did change the date. I don't know if I stated that the last meeting, but it is now going to be on Saturday, April 20th. It is still at the same venue, but we pushed it back a week to accommodate a soccer game. A very big soccer game that a lot of our families are going to. So we do have a goal of $128,000 for that. We are starting to talk to sponsors, getting a lot of logistics planned. I have a wonderful, the school has a wonderful committee for this that I am so grateful for. They are running with so much of this. It's a lot of the parents who had worked on the event in the past. So a lot of good support and excitement around it. Tickets are on sale now. So it's in the newsletter. It's online, I think, in a variety of places, but $20,000 in ticket sales so far, so people are really getting excited, yeah.
That's good. And another thing, if we can get board, and I know, I've asked you to be at something next week, for the board draft and another board draft event, and the food festival and everything, so, but I think if we split up enough between us, we can have good representation.
Okay, any questions? Great, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, diversity committee report. Kelly's not here. Is anybody calling in? All right. What I'm assuming we're talking about is this month at Oak and Cherry. I don't think it's at Armour. There are people signing up and going into classrooms and reading for Black History Month. So if you haven't signed up, I think there are a few slots left after this, break that they have for the parent-teacher conferences. So contact Oak or Cherry.
Do you know if that was sent out in the newsletter? I know last year we got an email about it, but I didn't see it.
I did see something in the newsletter.
Read over it, okay.
And I did see something there. And then I have a link for Cherry if you want to. I can send that to you.
I would need to.
Oh, sorry. Okay, awesome. All right, head of school report.
Alma had mentioned that he might have me do it, but I don't want to jump in if he does want to unmute, so. But I'm happy to do it, but I don't want to.
Mr. Bang, are you still there?
He's on there, but.
Yes, Heather, you take care of it or no? Heather,
Yes, you will.
go ahead.
You're in the hot seat.
I'm not here.
Okay. Put on food in my teeth.
Okay, head of school report. Hello, everyone. I'm Heather Royce. I'm the principal at the Cherry campus. And next slide. Am I driving or is he driving?
Just click.
There we go. Cherry recognition. I included this slide for two reasons. First of all, I thought it was a great picture of us with the mayor, but I wanted to recognize Mulai Saidi, the vice principal. I could have written 12 paragraphs about all the great things that he does, but I know he's been very active with the diversity committee. He's the one who organized the parent readers for Black History Month. He's my right-hand man, does data, so many different things at the building. So I thought this was a great picture of him and our student ambassadors when Mayor Lucas came and visited a couple of weeks ago.
And his, I know several people worked on that, but the parent forum
Yes.
was amazing.
Yes. Oak recognition, Lena Hufaidi, administrative assistant, great addition to the Oak office staff, very courteous, always multitasking, good spirit, positive attitude, understands that the school is about serving students, is just fantastic. And if you recognize that last name, yes, that is the daughter of longtime Oak principal Leslie Hufaidi. So all that goodness must run in the family. Armour recognition, hard and selfless work of Mr. Mamadou Dieng, the athletic director, and our basketball coaches for leading the middle school girls and accomplishing a perfect basketball season and earning another championship trophy. We may need a bigger trophy case. We are so proud of our female athletes. And leadership recognition, Mr. Mbang wanted to recognize Marcia Berry for taking home finishing the work for the Teachers Lounge staff room. We got some state funding a couple of years ago, and some of that was kind of left undone, and Marcia just picked that ball up and ran with it. So thank you, Marcia. I know the teachers are happy about that. Academic programs, Black History Month activities going on all 3 campuses. As we already mentioned, the parent readers. We've got a celebration. I don't know as much about, what's going on at the other 2 campuses. I can fill you in on what we're doing at Cherry. We've got our 2nd grade jazz and blues concert at Cherry, a celebration. Every day we have a different local Black hero every week at Cherry with clues that get revealed as the week goes on. So just lots of different activities going on. Parent-teacher conferences coming up Thursday and Friday. And hiring is in full swing for the 24-25 school year. Lots of, I can only speak K-5, but lots of good candidates, lots of interviews, reference checks going, recommendations in. So working on that, as we requested from teachers a few weeks ago, an intent to return. So we hopefully got some good information about the spaces that we will need to fill, both from attrition or from growth. So we are, of course, moving very quickly on hiring because for international staff, it takes a long, long time with those visas. So we every year start earlier and earlier. And then, yes, Mayor Lucas visited Cherry. He came and toured the building and then jumped in to read to a 2nd grade student, joined in with Lead to Read that reads in one of our 2nd grade rooms. So he joined those volunteers and spoke to them and thanked them for their efforts. He made it to some classrooms, got to see some projects, and then read with a 2nd grade student. So it was a great visit. Thank you to Christy and Allie who got that going.
As my 2nd grader said, the president visited.
Well, and so funny part about the thing was, as we were walking the building, and of course all the classrooms have their Black History Month bulletin boards up, as the mayor was walking by, there was his picture on one of the bulletin boards. I told him we did not do that just because you were coming. So, a few more things about the academic program, things going on, working on our alternate method of instruction for online learning. Just in case, let's all knock on wood that we do not have any more snow days, but being prepared with Google Classrooms and online instruction, just in case. And then data analysis going on as we did our 2nd round of NWEA testing. And so grade levels and buildings are looking at their data. And then semester 1 student discipline data is being reviewed. All of us principals shared that with Mr. Mbang last week. And it will be shared with the performance committee and the board in March. Enrollment caps. I don't think this is me anymore.
Mr. Bang?
Yes, you, but anyway, this.
Okay, you know me, I can keep talking.
You own the rest of the meeting. So.
Okay. Well, then I'm going to recommend administrative raises. You don't know what will happen if you give me the microphone. Okay, so motion to adopt the following grade level enrollment caps for the 24-25 school year. For kindergarten, 198. The projection for 1st grade is 193 in terms of enrollment, so suggesting a grade level cap of 198. And then for 9th, 10th, and 11th, you can see the projections and the caps recommended.
You'll slide that.
Oh.
You want to slide that bottom one out. There you go.
There we go. Okay. Oh, and for 12th grade, we don't want to forget our dear seniors. No.
And so so we need to vote on these caps so that when the lottery happens after the enrollment period, then we know how many get accepted and how many go on the wait list. So can I get a motion to adopt the grade level enrollment caps that you see on the screen in front of you for the 24-25 school year? Second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries.
And school calendar, we have met and talked about the school calendar in the Conseil d'École multiple times, and need a motion to adopt the proposed parts of the 24-25 school calendar, 169 student days, 188 teacher work days, and 1140 instructional hours, which is way over, of course, what DESE requires is the 1044.
And then if you didn't see the communication, because when we got that, we posed some questions back, but just to reiterate a few changes on it. Early start now for grades K, 6, and 9, so they'll start one day before all other students start, for better orientation to those who are starting, a new phase in their schooling.
No, very good move.
And then the last day of school, I know there was a little bit of, last year, why are you guys approving a calendar where it goes, where they have to come back a couple days after Memorial Day? And it does happen every 4 to 5 years, just because of a later start in the school year. So the consul did come to an agreement on that the first day of school will always be the third Wednesday of August. So that's what can cause that. So I think those were the only major changes, yeah. All right, so can we get the motion to adopt the 24-25 school calendar? Second? Any discussion?
I just have a question. The extra roughly 100 hours, is that to sort of account for different snow days, so we don't have to add it on? Okay, that's what I thought. Thank you.
A number of years ago, we added 30 minutes to the school day. How many years ago was that? Like 8, probably 7 or 8 years ago, to build in more time for reading.
Okay.
And so that was the reason we did it. But now that does help prevent for having to make up snow days.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries.
All right. District operations. Sure, absolutely.
Citywide custodial services started February 1st, as you're well aware of. We did a RFP for that. We had several various companies throughout the city do that. We had an interview committee as well, rubric, and the committee selected Citywide custodial services, and they've been doing quite well. Great feedback. Haven't had any issues with that. They brought in some updated cleaning equipment for all 3 campuses. Transport software ongoing training with Académie Lafayette Transportation Center. Once again, we have our building managers working with our transportation center there. The logistics in the sense that will help us be able to do our logistics more in an efficient manner as we do our routes, and also as we incorporate new students in our transportation system, we're able to upload them, and it helps us navigate our start and our stop times. A Bullet 3 security entryway installed at Armor. If you hadn't had a chance to see it, it's already been installed. And it's also been electrified as well. We're missing one more component, and that is the secured glass for the sliding glass there for our receptionists, and that's being custom built there. And once that's there, it will be completed there here at the Armor site. And then we've also added our secured film throughout the district too. With the security entryways installed at Armor, we also, with our grant money, we're going to be doing Cherry Campus, and also we're going to be doing the Oak Campus there. And so that's something that we didn't project at first until we started seeing some of the bids, and therefore we have enough funds to allocate that, so we'll be secured throughout the district. With that, secured film will also be added in phase 2 on the first floors of all the campuses. And that's where I go new secured windows installed at the Cherry Campus. We installed 90 windows at Cherry under the safety grant, as Stephen mentioned earlier. That's kind of a wash because it's a grant. It was approved by DESI that we could do that. And with that, we're doing some of our exterior doors at Cherry as well, where they were plexiglass. They were replaced with plexiglass rather than glass, secure glass. So there's enough funds in there that we're going to do that, and also in the library at the Cherry campus. And then also, we've installed three new exit doors at the old campus, if you haven't noticed that. That's really kind of helped beautify those exit areas too. But also, it's kind of limited the access to, and we're taking the chains off the doors, which is definitely not appropriate. And that's been completed. And we, like I said, the next phase there will be the secured entryway. Any questions on some of the operations that's been going on?
Do we know when the new updates are going to be happening at the different campuses?
Yes. With the secured entryways at Oak and Cherry, I think we should have that installed in the next 2 weeks. When they installed Armory, everybody was like, wow, that didn't take long at all. Because everything's pre-measured, prefabricated, and in 4 hours, it's kind of like putting the puzzle together if they do it right. And so it won't take us long. We're just mainly just waiting for the materials to get in. And the same thing with the film, too. Any other questions?
Been a little busy since you started?
We've done a lot of projects. I'm really excited about that because, without that safety grant, it's definitely needed. And I want to make sure that, we can do as much as we possibly can with that, with those funds that DESI gave us, and it's all going towards secured. Also, I could tell you this, too, at Cherry. We had a lot of windows that were missing the hardware. And so we went around, and I think we replaced like 60 handles that were able to lock the windows. One window, they have 2 locks on them, and one of the handles pieces were missing. So that's already been completed, too.
That's great.
And that's helped. And we're just continuously looking at ways that we can use every single dime, penny in the security grant that will kind of upgrade our facilities. And right now, if you're talking about operations, right now we're putting together that capital list. Preventative maintenance is so important because we don't want to rob the piggy bank and then we don't have enough money. Because you always got to put money away, preventative maintenance. And some of your major items when it comes to preventative maintenance, as we all know, is your roof. We're looking at our roofs throughout the district. When have they been replaced? When was the last time they were replaced? Because they're very expensive. As we know, if you don't take care of your roof, then it creates damage everywhere else into your classrooms, your ceiling tiles, your carpet, and then you have some other things that I don't like to mention that can also cause air quality issues. So we're looking at that. And along with that, you got to always look at your mechanical things throughout the district, your boilers and your chillers. Those are all expensive items. So kind of leaning on Stephen that, we got to put some money away in the piggy bank so we don't have any surprises, so it doesn't really hit us when we didn't forecast that. So there's a certain percentage you always want to put away for those large cost items, because it's not glitz and glamour to go out and try to raise money for the roof, right? Or mechanical things. And so we always got to put money away just in case those things, because we do have a lot of square footage when you think about Oak's roofs and Cherry's has more square footage of roof than the other two. So making sure we do that, and playground equipment and asphalt, all the things that come into play. So we're working on that. I'm going to give Stephen the capital improvement list that was also generated from my predecessor, but we're just crossing our T's and dotting our I's on that. And then, is there another slide here? What's that? So security film, exterior doors installed at all campuses. Phase 2 security film will start the week of February the 12th, and that's where we're going to do the first floors. This was mentioned earlier, about the Oak campus. The third floor boys and girls restroom was painted. I think it was lacking if you've ever ventured up to the third floor of the boys and girls bathroom. But I'm really happy with the last bullet there, the construction of the first floor girls restroom in Oak campus. And this was kind of generated from JC and a parent, and had a conversation with the parent. He works for a major construction firm here in Kansas City, and he says, you know what, I do this for a living, And if you would be willing, we would donate the labor if you buy the materials. And so there again, we kind of had a conversation with Stephen because it really wasn't in the budget. But however, I thought it was a huge need. If you've been on that first floor, I'm sure if you have kids that go to Oak and they've talked about the first floor Oak restrooms, and I shared with Stephen, I think we could pass up the paint because I think this is needed, and I want to really take advantage of the free labor.
Mhm.
And so we traded the paint for the construction of the first floor girls' restroom to be taken care of. And it starts on the 15th, demolition, that conversation. The dumpster is going to be donated, the skid loader is going to be donated, and there's a lot of construction that's going to go on that girls' first floor. After we get the bathroom stalls up, we're going to go ahead and paint and look at why we're only using one or two of the commodes that are in there currently, because I think we might have to have Lexington Plumbing or whoever come out. We'll take bids on that to look at being able to implement more of the toiletries in that restroom. But it's definitely a needed project, as I thought it was probably one of the most major ones in the district.
Great.
That's it.
Great, thank you.
Any questions? All right. Thanks, Rick.
All right. President's report, just a couple of things. I want to go back, just because with all the technical issues, missed a couple things. Approval of the amended agenda. We did get the motion and we did second, but I didn't take a, all in favor. So can I get an all in favor of the amended agenda?
Aye.
Okay, any opposed? Okay, and then the same thing with the approval of the new board director, Olivier Griot. Again, we discussed, there was a motion, there was a second, but all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, awesome. We talked about June 15th for the annual retreat, so I'll send that out on calendars. Thank you for everybody who's gotten back to me on your availability for April and March, no, February. Anyway, for the school board draft, those dates, so thank you for that. And then just one more reminder, holding this up, the Missouri Ethics Commission, just make sure you do it because they, the penalties go to you, not the school, so just make sure. I know, it's terrifying. It's terrifying, so just, and I'm assuming if you don't, and it gets close to the date, that they start sending you notifications, but just do it to be sure, so. All right, and then I think that's it. Do we have anything else? No closed session tonight? All right.